Hello, here we are down the lake. It's a really nice spring morning. You can see the clouds are trying to part and the sun and the blue sky's trying to get through. We've had some really good weather in terms of it's been really warm this week. And as you can see, the water's right well in. We're kind of, this is where the water normally settles, the level around here. Yeah, it's supposed to be force 4, about 12 miles an hour with force 5/6 gusts of 25 to 30 miles an hour. Gets a little bit worse in the afternoon and then tails off a little bit. So what I'm going to do, we're just going to get the boat rigged and we're going to go and do some sailing, because we've been doing a lot of projects on the boat recently and not enough sailing. So we're just going to go and do some pure sailing and just go and have a couple of hours enjoying ourselves, and then we'll see what we do after that. So today we're going to be using some Rainex. What Rainex is for, it's like a water repellent, and I've noticed on some of my videos I'm getting quite a lot of water on the screen, especially on my 360 camera, which is just here. So my 360 camera, because the lenses, I don't think you can replace them. It comes with these little domes, but of course these domes are a bit of a nightmare when it comes to water. So what we're going to do is use some Rainex, and hopefully that will resolve the issue. So all you do with Rainex is make sure wherever you're applying it to, your window or your screen, is clean. And then what you're supposed to do is kind of put on the Rainex in both 90, in two directions, 90 degrees from each other, and then you leave it to dry. So a bit harder on a domed surface, but I think as long as you get it on there, I think it's okay. I used to use Rainex quite a lot on my cars. It keeps the water off your window screens and your side windows on your car, and it makes it, look really much nicer, as well as actually, making them much easier to look out of. So you do that, you leave them to dry, which is what we'll do right now. Okay, so this is about 10 minutes. You might be able to just see, I don't know if I can tilt that. You can see there's like, it's like dried. It's like the water's dried, and now all you need to do is polish it off until that's clear. There we go. Here we are by the water, and we're just going to dip this camera in and see how it goes. So first of all, we'll dip it in, and as we pull the camera out, look at that, you can see there's no little bits. If we can go a bit closer here, you'll see, we need to be a bit deeper. You'll see that the water just runs off it now. If you can see, there's a few specks on there, but I don't think they're going to make a big difference. We might put another coat on just to be sure, but as you can see, you pull this out now, and hopefully that will give you a much better picture. Right, here we go. There's not much breeze, I'm not going to lie. Oh, I'm a bit shallow as well here, but we're going to go this way. I'm going to get a little bit of Now, I've got the jib in. I've not got the jib up at the moment, but I am about to pull that. There we go. And we get the jib up and we're off. Get this board down. And then we just need to get the rudder up. Or rudder down, should I say. And we're sailing. Awesome. So, as you can see, there's very little wind. There seems to be just enough to keep us moving. And what I'm doing, I thought it'd be a nice opportunity to just show you how to use the clue and the tack. I always get these mixed up. I think this is the clue and I think that side of the sail is the tack. I really hope I don't get those mixed up. But these controls here, you can see, you can loosen them off, and you do that in fairer weather, in lighter winds. And the same with the tack. Let's see if we can, oh, we've got a little bit of wind now, so you can see the tack there, look, and you've got quite a lot of adjustment. So in strong winds, you'd put those really tight up to the sail, and it flattens the sail, so it will negate the power of the sail a little bit. As with the kicker, if you tighten this up, which is what you're supposed to do, the kicker will pull this down. So let me loosen it off. Look, see the boom rise. So the more loose you have stuff, the more powerful you're going to be. So at the moment we've got very little wind, so I'm just gonna, oh, and you can see even there's a little gust as well. I'm just going to loosen my main a little bit to give us hopefully a bit more shape, and I'm going to make the kicker so it's just sort of touch tight, so it's kind of giving the sail a bit more shape that it would normally get if the wind was a lot stronger. I always sail for about 10-20 minutes and then I wonder why I ever bought an engine or an outboard for the boat, because sailing, there's something special about sailing. Don't get me wrong, all boating is amazing, but there's something special about being powered along by the wind and nothing else, being almost at the mercy of Neptune and you know, and all the elements, and having to negotiate your way around them. It is just an amazing feeling, and if you've ever thought about taking up sailing, do it because it's amazing. So I've got my 360 camera here mounted on the mast. Whoa, oh, scary. And I thought we'll do a few videos testing that today, because I'm hoping I can use it so you can see what I'm doing more. So you should, even on a normal YouTube channel, you should be able to use your mouse and you should be able to drag the video to where you want to see. Now unfortunately, if you look behind you, all you're going to get is a mast. So there's no forward view on this camera right now. We've got plans for that though. But you know, when I'm starting to tell you about here, or I'm saying down here, or look over there, look up for the fighter jets, then hopefully you'll be able to do that. And I'm hoping I can build little course, you know, help you do some lessons like this as well. Basically, you are my shipmate, and you're going to come and join me sailing for real now. So we are coming up for a tack, our first tack of the day, and we're going to be tacking into the wind that way. So hopefully you can see I've got my board a third of the way up. I just like to tack with the board up a little bit. I feel this boat especially can trip over its centerboard, its stagger board. Now the wind has just totally died down, so what we're going to do, we're going to go just beyond these little marker buoys here, or mooring buoys should I say, or marker buoys, and we're going to do our first tack of the day. So I'm going to pull in both the main sheet and the jib a little bit, and we're going to tack ahoy, I think is what you say. Give yourself plenty of chance. And now we're broad reaching back down the lake. Oh, I've just got a tangled jib sheet in the spinnaker line. Now we have a new problem, because I put an extra cleat on the mast. I seem to get the jibs caught on that cleat a lot more easily than the side cleat, so either I'm going to have to sort that cleat, get rid of that cleat unfortunately, or find a way of capping it so things don't get caught on it. And there is our first tack, and we've got a little bit of breeze suddenly appear. I always make sure I keep my main sheet behind that little block on down here in the bottom of the hull. Then I know I'm not going to stand on it. And you know, the more experience you get, you know, you should hold your sheet like this, so you've got full control of it at all times. But when you get a little bit more experience, and when the wind's just not that strong, you can hold it with this hand. Yeah, so I've just had a pretty strong gust there, having to fight to keep the boat upright, and then literally leaning out, and then literally the wind just went. We've got hardly any wind again now. The boat went up to about 6.5 miles an hour. We're now at under 4, or we were under 4. We're at 4.5 bit, and now the wind's almost gone. So it's going to be one of those days. Be interesting to see if we get through it without a capsize. Started raining a little bit. Not that it matters when you're sailing, really. We're headed for marker A, and I'm hoping to go starboard side and do our first jibe of the day, and then we'll go back up to the first marker we tacked to, which I don't know what that is. It must be marker 1, something like that, or near there anyway. There is actually still a racing marker. I don't know if you can see a big yellow marker, so we'll try and use that today as well. You can see how the gusts come. We can see a gust now on the water, look, and we get a good old gust. Look, there we go, we heel. But then when the gust goes, I'm almost having the boat come back over on me, because I'm well out on the gunnel. And whoa, so it's going to be tough conditions today. Going to learn a lot today. So we're nearly at marker 8. We're going to jibe around marker 8. Wind's coming from this way. Now when we jibe, I release the jib quite quickly, because I don't need any power to get me round. And sometimes, I mean, I pull the boom in so it just doesn't have much room to travel. We've given ourselves a hell of a lot of room here. You may be able to see marker A is just here now, just passing on our port beam, and we've lost the wind completely. So here we go, we're going to drive nice and slowly. Whoa, caught a gust there. Whoa, the wind is coming from everywhere. That is crazy. I've got to be a little bit careful with the camera on my helmet actually. So we've jibed of a fashion, but you can see when the wind is grumpy, you've got to have your wits about you. Look, we've got nothing. Look, we've got nothing now. So we're going to head up to this. The wind should be on our backs and should be coming from this quarter here, our port quarter, but actually nothing's happening. at the moment. So I'm just waiting for this boom to come swinging over us when the wind changes at the moment. And that's what we've got to be very mindful of. That's why I've got this on. We've just had no wind, loads of wind. It's really hard to sail in this, I'm not going to lie. So we're nearly at the we're nearly running out of room here. We're going to have to now jibe, but it's going to be quite hard. It's actually difficult because actually there's no wind, and when we do get wind, it's gusty. So we're now reaching again across the lake, and we're going to turn, and we're just going to broad reach. Maybe we're it's hard to tell. I don't know whether we're reaching or whether we're beating at the moment. I've just hove to, and this is leery, but at the same time pretty cool. So you can see wind's coming from over here, jib's backed, we've got the mainsail out almost to full, and rudder's backed the opposite to the jib. And even with the blusts, what you find happens is, like, here we go, the boat can kind of get quite violently pushed one way or the other, to the point the boom is actually quite loose and coming over, and then the boat will get pushed quite quickly by the jib and the boom will slam out again. So this is a really good test to see how the boat performs in, you know, quite blustery conditions. As you can see, another gust there, and we're doing quite well. The other thing I wanted to heave to for was to find out where we're drifting, because you should sort of just get pushed back slightly. Now we hove to over there, so we are being pushed really across the lake, but that's not really where the wind's coming from. The wind is coming from more over there, northerly, whereas we're being pushed from the north, northeast, that sort of area. So it's going to be interesting getting out of this now. We are, yeah, let's get control. We've just got a bit of a gust, we'll just let that go. So you get control of your main, get it unhitched from there, and then all we're going to do is we're going to point with the wind, let the jib go, and complete what would be otherwise a tack. And there we go, and we're reaching now. As you can see from the fact I'm sat in the middle of the boat, there's no wind right now. So let's pull the main in, and we should have the wind almost on our back starboard quarter. Gotta watch that boom. I don't know if you can make out, there's the diggers, that's where they're building this new wall. I was told it was water defence, so whether the lake, when it gets a bit fuller, does have a tendency to break over that shore, I don't know, but it certainly looks a little bit more than just doing it for looks. They're very noisy, but you know, we've got to put up with them. Wow, these were low. Watch it, here it comes. Oh, not so bad. That first F15 was so low, it hurt my ears. The noise, Jesus. Crikey. Sometimes it's quite hard to work out where the wind is coming from, and actually, you know, today is crazy. So there's a few tricks I can use to help me, because often it's just really difficult to know where the wind's coming from and where it changes so much here. So the first thing is, look at other boats. So look where these boats are being pushed. There's no tide really on this lake. The current and the wave action is created by the wind, and it can change very quickly. So look, you can see these boats, they're pointing that way up the lake. So, you know, north, almost northeast. The next thing you look at is the windsock. So there is one that you can actually see on one of the webcams just over there, just in front of the clubhouse, and that one again would concur with the boats. So we're getting more of a northeast you know, wind, which is changing. You can see as I then went in there. Right, I've got to just jibe, so let's jibe around here. There we go. So yes, you can see all the boats are pointing in that direction now, and yeah, the windsock, yeah, but you can see by the windsock, look how blustery it is, and look how much it's changing. You should just be able to make it out there. The other thing is obviously you know, you can, you know, I do this quite a bit, I don't know if you notice on the videos, but just point the boat into the wind like this, nice and carefully, just gently. Now two ways, that telltale, which is slightly in the wrong place, will start to drop the other side of the jib. So let's go a little bit further, and then look, you see it's starting to disrupt, but then look, the jib is also now, we've got to come out of that before we stall. So we know the wind is in fact coming from over there now, which is very, very different to what it was this morning. We definitely, the forecast was almost an easterly wind, which is behind us now. It moved, and now we've got this, sorry, westerly wind. We've now got this northeasterly wind. So we're kind of reaching this way. We're now beating this way, and we're reaching back to base that way. This morning it was the opposite, which is crazy, and you can actually see right now we've lost the wind, and we seem to almost be reaching now just from the feeling of it. And sure enough, the windsock over there is now, it's definitely gone northwesterly. Oh, it's definitely turned a bit. So look, you can see the waves are now with us. We're not beating now, we are reaching. So that's how crazy the wind is today. Sunshine. Oh, I can feel the sun breaking through. Look at this. I can feel it breaking through. I can actually feel the heat on me. Oh, well, you took your time, sunshine. I think it's about 10:15 in the morning. We've been sailing for, wow, actually, yeah, gosh, over 2 hours now. I think I've had enough of this grumpy wind. Whoa, and as I say that, here we go, grumpy wind again. I think we're going to head back to base. I've got a few things I want to do with the boat, and then we'll wait for some better weather. We'll see what happens. It's amazing what half an hour or an hour, what difference that can make. So that's the plan. Whew, we're back. If you see Mucking Dee's just moored up there, tied off. She's perfectly safe. That was a pretty crazy sail, to be honest with you. The wind went from nothing to pretty strong gusts. You know, and it also moved as well. The gusts felt quite strong, but it's hard to know. Nearly had a capsize. I was jibing and left the jib in and just got a huge gust as I was jibing, and just managed to save the boat. It was right over there. So yeah, I don't know. I think capsizing is something that you do lose your confidence with. So I think when we get a nice sunny, quiet day, I think we'll do some capsize training. I don't think April is the time to be doing capsize training. I think, you know, we're gonna maybe wait for a nice May, June, hot, more summery day before we do that. So that was a good sail though, in terms of experience.